What's up, everybody? Hank here with highlights from my workout from Friday, December 15th, 2017. Um, Fridays, I mainly focus on isolation movements. Today, I did 5 different exercises, 2 compound movements and 3 isolation movements. As usual, I normally do the compound movements first. Pushing and pulling movements are compound movements, and today, for my pulling movements, I did chin-ups with a supinated grip, that is palms facing the body, as opposed to pull-ups, which would be pronated grip, palms away from the body, and generally a wider grip. After completing a set of those, I went immediately to push-ups, and I did 3 supersets of pull-up push-ups. Today, an old injury in my left bicep was acting up, so I thought I would talk a little about injuries. Anyone who's involved in exercises regularly or is involved in physical fitness or sports has probably suffered an injury or more than one injury. Injuries can sometimes derail people. You will get injured and you can't use a particular body part, or your progress gets set back so far that it's a psychological blow and you can't recover, and you end up just stopping altogether because you can't do what you could do before. But that doesn't make any sense. What does a bicep injury, for example, have to do with squatting? There are tons of exercises I can still do. And after I injured my bicep, I could only do dumbbell curls with 10 pounds. Anything more than that was too painful. So what did I do? Rather than just quit, I did curls with 10 pounds. Anything, and slowly, over time, using basic principles of progressive resistance, I slowly increased the weight. And got back to the point where I was basically able to handle the same weight I was handling before the injury. It took about a year, but the point is that time is going to pass whether you use it to rehabilitate your injury or not. So you might as well take a step back and start over and slowly rehabilitate. Here I just kind of spliced in a scene of Jamel doing squats, 5 reps with 225. And he's, in my view, he could go a little bit deeper, but he's going just about to parallel, which is pretty much, he's a very tall guy, long legs, so it's much harder to go ass to grass, as they say. So now with this injury, I feel it in my bicep, even though I've rehabilitated it. It's always kind of there as a reminder to warm up thoroughly, to use proper form, not to overtrain. Those pains are reminders of these things. So some people say that if you lift weights, they warn you, you're going to hurt yourself, you're going to wreck your knees, hurt your back, etc. And it's true, I've had my share of injuries: neck, shoulder, bicep, and most recently a pretty serious lower back or hip injury, which I just recently rehabilitated and recovered from. But people who don't work out get injured lifting up their child, picking up a bag of groceries the wrong way, or just turning the wrong way, sneezing. So for a person who's not physically active and does no resistance training, such an injury can be a serious problem. But people who lift weights and do regular resistance training can avoid these types of injuries if they do happen, or recover from them very quickly. Why do injuries happen? Sometimes you overdo it, you use improper form, use weights that are too heavy, overtrain, ego lifting. Eventually you will get injured. The more you do resistance training, the more chances there are to suffer an injury, but you shouldn't let it derail you. You can work around it, do what you can, don't stop using that body part, try to coax it back to where it was before. It's easy to say, like, oh, I was benching 225 and then I injured my pec and now I can barely even bench the bar. I just quit. But don't quit, bench the bar, or grab a couple of 35-pound dumbbells and do some presses with those. And do what you can, and over time it will heal and recover. You have to give it a reason to. You have to let the muscle or the joint or tendon or whatever know that it's still required and expected to return to its former condition and perform that as well as it once did, and hopefully better. And hopefully you can recover from these injuries and come back even stronger and and smarter, because now you're more careful. You take more rest days, you don't overtrain, use better form, etc. I strive to use proper form, and I'll talk about the importance of using proper form in these videos over and over again. My form is by no means perfect. There's always room for improvement, but I think it's pretty good. All right, that's it for today. See you at the next workout.